Just a tag in at the end. Ultimately, this is just asking the question: who pays these guys? I think I know, but whatever. And what I'll do is point you to the facts, right? If you look at Millennial Woes on his grift portals, of which there are many, obviously, due to popular demand, he relented to the popular demand and set up a Give Send Go, which will be running all year round, of course, with a monthly goal of £2,000. And this is for Millennial. And I've put this in the video previously, but whatever, okay. Due to the popular demand, oh God, if you just shut up about it, I'll do it. I'll set up this Give Send Go. Okay. God. Okay, I'll do it. Right, all right, Colin. He set up this Griff Send Go, Gift Send Go, and he received, in this month alone. So this is the big month. This is the big unveil. This is the big run up to the Griftathon. Everyone's excited. All the parasocial bros, straining like greyhounds in the slip. They can't wait. The game is afoot. Cry God for Colin. Anyway, whatever. Let's stop doing that. He received £930 from this thus far. He's raised this month, so in the last 2 weeks, presumably, he's received £295. So what I'm saying here, right? This is a guy who's received £31,500 of crypto payments in 12 months. But here he is with this is kind of the authentic, because I think the people who send money on these kind of accounts, they are the John from Barnsley's, So these are the people I allude to in the video. They have been tricked. A lot of them anyway. This is the guy I was saying earlier, like, I wish I had more to send. This is all I've got. If I had more, I'd send you more, Colin. 20 quid. Guy works in fucking petrol station forecourt, most likely. I don't know. I wish I could donate more. 20 quid. You know what I mean? I wouldn't bother, mate, because he's got 31,000 this year on fucking Ethereum and Bitcoin. That's his income. That's his crypto income. Who's paying him this money throughout the year? Like I say, he got £3,000 in one. He got one Ethereum, £3,000 just for his NFT. It was never claimed. So who's sending him all these Ethereums and Bitcoins throughout the year? Whoever it is, it's not organic. This is an astroturfed movement. You have to understand that. Mark Collette's got £16,000 on Bitcoin. He's never touched it. He's never withdrawn a penny. All the transactions on there, it's all incoming. There's no withdrawals. So this man is so far from hand to mouth. It's untrue. Like, he's just got fucking 16 grand and he's just like, yeah, 60. It's just money on a screen, like, for him. It's not real money for him. He doesn't need it. Like, well, whatever. So you got Mark Collette. I mean, this separate video, really. I mean, this is a guy who, everyone around him gets sent to prison. He's got fucking contacts with National Action, which is a prescribed group. He's never been to prison. He's never had a pull. He's never spent a night in a fucking police cell, even though he's on recorded messages, like committing conspiracy to murder. And he's got £16,000 lying around in a Bitcoin account, which he's never touched in 5 years. I got messages on those videos like, oh, fuck you, Colin Mark's done so much more for nationalism than anyone. Can these people really be that stupid? I mean, I said this previously, like, someone like Morgoth, I don't think it's stupid. He's got his own kind of low cunning. And it's kind of fear-based cunning as well. So he knows exactly what Mark Collette's about, but he's scared. He's compromised some way, shape, or form. He just thinks, well, Collette is he's a better friend than an enemy within this little scene, something like whatever it is. He's made that decision because he surely knows what Collette's about. He surely does. Hang on, everyone around him is getting sent to prison. I mean, you know what I mean? It's just fucking whatever. Like, all this shit, it's just an astroturfed movement. If you took away all the, astroturfed, the Jonathan Barnsleys of this world, they really would have fuck all. Millennial Woes would have to have a job. And he could maybe earn a little bit, and like maybe if he had an understanding boss, he'd let him take 6 weeks off at the end of the year. It's not really outside the realms of the possibility, is it? Surely it is for him. He's never worked. But you get a job in a fucking shop. I don't know. Get a job doing whatever. Drive an Amazon van. You know what I mean? It's actually quite nice. I've got a mate of mine. That's what he does in England. Just this fuck all work around, so he's just got a fucking van and he drives for Amazon. Quite likes it. So he says. He says it keeps him fit. You're lugging boxes around all day. You're sitting in your fucking truck, driving around, listening to podcasts, listening to music. Not so bad. Deliver fucking pizzas, whatever. You're not going to get fucking like, oh no, I couldn't do that because I'm persona non grata. Because they once wrote a mean article about me in a Daily Record like 11 years ago. No one gives a shit, mate. Not if you turn up on time, do your job, don't fucking rub anyone up the wrong way, you're fine. Like, you know what I mean? Certainly in jobs like this. Certainly going around delivering. Deliver fucking falafel. I don't know, whatever you like. Terrific range of falafel, I don't know. And then take them time off at the end of the year. Of course. That is what you would have to do if there was no sort of, curious benefactors, philanthropists. Because how do these people, and I'm referring to state actors and their pawns, which is like rich businessmen who are around them. That's what the KGB do. How do they provide income to these people? Well, they use Bitcoin and they use crypto because it's not so many paper trails. It's more convenient for them. It's just easier. That's their method. And here you got just these two alone. I mean, fuck knows. Like all these people, they all take all this stuff, don't they? Well, okay. I mean, he's received $31,000 in 12 months. Again, for what? Millennial? Was it that good? I mean, come on, you're not being serious. He claims, which is a lie. He claims that he's only received £2,000. That's the highest he's ever received for Millennial. Well, as I said previously, you got £3,000 for the NFT alone, and well, whatever. I think I've covered that in the video. That probably, let's just say he gets 4, maybe 5,000. Including the NFT. I don't know, whatever you like. He doesn't get 31,000 from Jonathan Barnsley, I'll tell you that. So, who's sending him the other money? I don't know. It's an open question because I know what I think. There are other sources. I mean, it could come from some other, controlled opposition source. Who knows? But it's not organic, right? I mean, I think it's Russia because it's fucking obvious. As I alluded to in that other video, they never talk about Russia in a negative light.
In the cold months, in the darkness of December, a light shines that defies the evil of our age, a light from another time.
That's not the point of this video. Sorry, I am rambling. The point of this video is at any point during Millennial, and I did count, I believe there's something in the region of 70 streams. Now, I believe these streams are approximately 90 minutes in length on average. So I think it's probably fair to say there's maybe something like 110, 120 hours of chat of dissident right, migrant obsessed, migration obsessed, great replacement obsessed chat. And yet now, this is an open question. Perhaps I'm wrong here. I do not believe at any one point in this year's Festival of Chat, other words could be applied, has anyone ever mentioned anything about Russia's role in facilitating weaponized third world migration, specifically from Africa in the West African republics, where they have basically puppet governments in their pocket, like New Friends, in places like Niger, Burkina Faso, the Congo, all these rotten places. When they're wafting it up, as I've made a video previously, perhaps I'll tag it in at the end of this, I'll stick the images in, I'm not going to labour the point here. Have they mentioned this fact? Have they mentioned the fact that, Russia is using its Belarusian puppet, to literally send wave after wave of third world migrants as a weaponized migration against the West? Have any of them mentioned these points? Have any of them mentioned like Wagner's role, wafting up these corridors, facilitating it across the Med, all the money that's poured into this? Have any of them mentioned this fact? Okay, so this is a quick edit. This is a point I think I've missed in the first recording here. And this is just regarding the nature of this migration. This is state-sponsored weaponized migration. So there is an intention here. That intention is to cause destabilization in your enemy's territory. So in this case, Europe, the Anglosphere. So it's a little bit distinct. I mean, normally, like organic migration is just kind of, Iqbal and his friends, they just want to go and get a flat somewhere and, all the rest of it. Want to get on the old welfare situation. I mean, that obviously is going to play a factor in this migration as well. However, this political imperative, I believe, this is the sort of thing they will talk about in their meetings they have with these West African, leaders. And I suggest suggestions will be made for them to empty out their prisons and, send certain figures, within their societies with an intention. It's like what Cuba did, isn't it? They'll be emptying out the prisons and sending them north. So I would argue that it's even more pressing, this kind of migration, because that is the intent. To completely ignore that intent, well, I don't know, draw your own conclusion. I mean, I'm serious, like every single episode, you know what I mean, every single stream, they basically all talk about migration to some extent. There might be one or two where it's some, I don't know, author or something, but 90% of the time they'll talk about third world migration and how it's a bad thing and how it needs to be countered and all the rest of it. And yet this fact, they just ignore. It doesn't exist. If you watch Millennial as your sole news source, then you would have no idea what Russia is doing here, and which is, attempting to flood Europe with hostile third world migrants. But it's been doing for probably over a decade, if not more, at this point. As I've pointed out, I think numerous times, if they are successful in the Ukraine that, that these people hate so much, that Millennial Woes like sneers about when he does his little like, the normies started to care about Ukraine, didn't they, after COVID? I mean, that's the point when I saw him on some stream chuckling away at that, how cringe it was that people cared about these white women and children getting buried under fucking rubble, towns getting completely fucking demolished, citizens being driven out, losing everything, losing family members, all the rest of it, and then that town getting filled full of fucking Tajiks. While he's chuckling about normies that might, be driven to actually give a shit about that. Oh, I don't know, let's just knock that off. Why not just go on? I don't like doing ranty videos. It's not worth it. Back to the original point at hand. Have any of these people at any point mentioned what Russia is doing? Now, if the answer is no, and I suspect it is, and again, I'm very open, stranger things have happened, I have been wrong numerous times in the past, and maybe I'm wrong on this. I don't believe any of the guests have at any point mentioned this fact. Now, the question that I would ask you is, why wouldn't they do that? Why would these group, 120 podcasts, or 120 hours of podcasts here, and they're all obsessed about Western migration, why would none of them have mentioned the fact of Russia's role within this operation against the West? Why not? Why wouldn't they have mentioned the fact that there's literally fucking North Koreans, fucking Mongols, Africans Indians, Syrians, people from all across the fucking Middle East, all across African world, Venezuelans, Cubans, all the rest of it. They're all fucking in Russia as part of this literal Antifa operation, a denazification operation against nationalism within Ukraine, within the whitest country on earth. None of them have mentioned that fact either. They haven't talked about this fucking multiracial army containing fucking North Koreans and all the rest of them. That's disappeared too. So that fact has been disappeared from the conversation, in the 120 hours of conversations, and the fact that Russia's role in facilitating weaponized migration against the West is also strangely missing from the conversation. So the question I would ask, and it is a genuine question, why wouldn't they talk about this? What's the reasoning? There you go. I mean, you can tell me in the comments if you like. I've got my ideas, but you can tell me yours.